to like 2007, I think. There was yeah, it's 2007. I'm on a double date, and my one friend Scott and this I forget the chick's name. They had an interesting relationship. They really bonded off of what's that called, like drama. And he says, "You're looking exceptionally ugly tonight. I'm taking you home this instant." And she threw a drink at him, and they stormed out of the friendlies. And then their appetizers came, and I got to eat their appetizers. So that was a great night.
Wait, is
Um,
that
yeah, it was
no?
2007 at a friendlies. The friendlies is gone now, but it was on Hempstead Turnpike in Long Island. This is like the date spot when you're like 16, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, hi
Maybe,
everyone.
maybe not trauma or drama bonded, but trauma bonded.
Get a lot of trauma bonding in the military. This wasn't that. This was they just thrived off of like like they we went to God, we went to Coney Island, I think, like 2 weeks later, and yeah, like they were happy as could be. It was like, oh, all right, oh, guess I made up. So
Love it. Okay.
anyway, hi everyone. It's I, the real Randy Chavez, or the last seat, number 23.
How's it going, everyone?
Yeah, what's going on? This is my co-host All Dolled Up from Sharby, and then Popdog. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Been following you for a while. Seen you very active in the space, so not too familiar with being on YouTube spaces, usually on the Twitter ones, but pretty excited to do this show with you. Thanks for having me.
All Dolled Up, what you up to?
It's Monday. It's the second week of school. Had a really productive weekend. Like I got a lot done. Feeling good. Yeah, I'm here. I'm excited to hear more about Popdog. You know, I am happy to have you on the show. Thanks for coming. Just because, you know, some of us that are like building or grinding in the background, if we're not like up, you know, front and on spaces on a regular basis, like I try to take the time to like figure out what other projects are doing, but it's why I love this last seat that we have, because I get to selfishly hear about what's going on and what you're doing. So yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Happy Monday.
Yeah, I feel like when you're any type of podcaster or YouTuber or spaces person, it's a lot like basketball. You can play like man to man, and you can, you know, interview people one on one, or you could play like zone defense, and you could have that space and let everyone come to you. And I feel like that's what our last guest did, Joe on Chain, just had those spaces. So, Popdog, when you go around and you try to get people into the community, and we'll go over obviously what that is in a bit, but what's your strategy to grow the party? What's your strategy to grow the community? And is it a lot of one-on-ones? Is it spaces? Is it podcasts? Is it craziness? Let me know.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we got a pretty large community. We've been around now for 20 months, so it's grown organically over time. We got 16,000 Twitter followers and 12,000 holders of the Pop Dog token. So we got a lot of community that's just grown through the narrative, and we've always tried to stay real active on Telegram and on Twitter since day one, and we do also still try to be on every platform. You know, we have a YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, but we're most active Telegram and Twitter, and I think Telegram's real good for community building. Um, you know, even during the red times, you can make good content and memes and smash raids with the new artwork, and just, you know, have good vibes, networking and building, and, you know, really getting to know other people in the community. And we're also really active on X Spaces. I try to speak at everyone I see. You know, I was a marketing major, and you don't want to be invisible, so I'm always trying to get the PFP burnt in people's heads and the narrative and name, and trying to get my community to show up on the spaces with their PFPs, so that you know, the big thing right now is community and cult movements. So trying to get as many of them to always show up in the crowd. And yeah, that's a little bit on the community building.
How do you do it? How do you advertise? Do you have like crazy videos? Do you use AI? Do you have do you go a little more unsavory type and you just hire a girl with big boobs and just be like, okay, just wear this low cut Popdog t-shirt and just get as many people as you can? I'm curious of the ways in which you try to do it.
Right, right. So I mean, our advertising's pretty organically. We've in the earlier days we were spending money on, you know, banners at the top of certain websites, and we have a few lifetime long-term partnerships with a couple influencers that are very active in the space. We have a lifetime partnership with Kid and Walter Show and Fitty.eth and a few other people that we've seen that are really in the trenches, you know, not just keyboard warriors, but really helping projects grow. So that's who we chose to network with. But other than that, it's pretty organic. If you check the last pin message on the Popdog Twitter page, we've been hosting mega spaces for the last 2 years. We haven't done one in quite some time because the you know, Trump token kind of sucked a lot of liquidity out of the memes, and memes are kind of at their bottom. But we're going to put another one together. But our last mega space, we had 75 projects on the banner. I think over 100 showed up. It went 8 hours, and that was our 10th one that we put together. So, you know, that's good advertising. It's got over 100,000 views. Every project usually retweets it. And we had some big projects always attend, like Giga Chat and other projects in the multi millions, hundreds of millions rather. So just organic advertising. Just yeah, a lot of just really getting active on Twitter raids. We do hand drawn artwork. I believe in that. You don't want to replace all the artists in the Web3 with AI. So we're big on hand drawn artwork. About 90% of our artwork is, and then we have a lot of people rating, spreading it all over Twitter, and yeah, just, you know, getting our name out there. And a lot of the advertisement comes just because PopCat is the biggest cat token in the world. For a long time, it was one of the top 3 tokens on Solana, maybe top 5 now. But this is kind of the degen play. People see PopCat and Popdog, and that's some good advertisement for us as well. And underdogs usually print harder, and dogs are the strongest memes in crypto. So a couple good things going for us there.
I see in the audience, at least on that, of the speakers on that particular pinned tweet, you have Monk or Monkey, and then you have Space Penguins as well. Gotta love those people. Those are 2 communities that are in the daCat universe. We've had them on. Have you ever taken a look at taking Popdog and putting them in like a anime or a comic or something like that?
It's crossed our mind, and I actually have seen that that's something you specialize in. So we'll have to talk some more in the DMs. But I've been following your comic series and definitely very impressed. And those 2 projects you mentioned, Monkey and Space Peng, yeah, they've been pushing now for almost probably 2 years. I've some OG projects I haven't give up, so I got to give them their flowers. And yeah, tell me more about the comic series, because I've seen what you're doing, and definitely adding some utility behind the meme with that.
Yeah, sure. They're different because Space Penguins didn't really have any lore. I asked the dude behind it. I was like, "Hey, what are the, you know, like who's in what's the name? I know you're Space Penguins. You're this penguin colony, but who's like the main guy? Where's he come from? What's his relationship like with his parents? Does he have a girlfriend?" And he's just like, "Bro, I don't know. We're just Space Penguins." I was like, "Okay." So I got to make up all the characters, and they're really freaking good. They're so I have this main guy, who's General Tux. I have the Jen, the Space Penguin Princess, and then I have the Ice King. He was like the Space Penguin Princess's dad. And there's some sexual tension between those 2 penguins, the general and the daughter, not the dad and the daughter. Like, yeah. Anyway, we go and we start off on this world where it's they're working together with Neil the seal and his like thing of seals. Normally they're enemies, but they had this big powerful enemy, like a bunch of the whales, like the orcas. They're like, hey, orcas are just eating both of us. Let's unite and let's heck this dude up. So they're hunting like these pod of whales, and it starts off where these three penguins on like an ice cliff. There's like, okay, if we mess this up, we're gonna get like left here. We're gonna get stranded. We'll be, we'll be traded as like food for the seals. Like if we mess this up, because General Tux is like, um, letting the whale chase him so that these other guys can like time it. They could jump off the cliff, stab him with their like icicle, and it's really cool. They have this cool dialogue, and they're space penguins, so they said like, hey, we have this other planet or this other solar system that we're going to go to because we just got a distress signal for it. They give this planet to the seals, and then their distress signal that they get is from humans that are warring with the cats, and they're warring with the dogs. They're like this interplanetary solar system civil war, and the humans say like, hey, we need someone to help us fight this evil that's out there, like not knowing that like the cats aren't evil. Like, pro the doge and the dogs might be a little evil, depending on your definition of eugenics and whether you whether you like that or not. But that's what the end of Space Penguins 3, or the end of Space Penguins goes right into daCat number 3. So I feel like a lot of people, even that don't have no idea who Space Penguins are, they'll go in and read it because they want to find out, okay, this is the tie-in. So I think most people will do that for these communities that, okay, this is part of the daCat universe. This is Randy's. Let's see it. Monkeys is very different because it's still going to be in the same universe. But he had like, okay, Monkey's a day trader. Monkey, he apes in. I was like, oh God, how do I make a story around that? So I made it so that Harambe was the leader of the apes. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to put Harambe in here. And they have this like secret ape society. It's called like Ape Haven. And it's shielded from like the rest of the world. And these humans they're mining like rhodium from like really close to there. And the unevolved, like the normal apes that aren't these, like super intelligent apes, they're like kind of messing with the equipment, and so the humans are like hunting them. They see these three other apes that are on like this perimeter check, and they go and then shoot at them. And then they have this weird, the apes have this weird, like almost like a monster that they create to make it so that the humans don't venture too far into the forest and kind of find them. And they do it in this really awesome way where they're able to manipulate the weather. They're able, like the dude flies, like it's really fun. And then the three go to Harambe and like, hey, where are these, like, what is this rhodium these humans are mining? And he's like, okay, well, go to Monkey, down below in like basement floor number 1. And, and he'll tell you all about them. He'll tell you if we need to worry, what they're doing with it, whether we can try to coax the humans to go and mine it somewhere else. And then enters Monkey on like page like 5 or 6, like the first like quarter of the book, like Monkey's not in. And then once he comes in, he's drinking while he's like trading, and he's got this really, you're not gonna be able to tell because it's text, but he talks like this, he's been around the block. And he goes to Harambe's like nephews there. We call him Makoko. And it's just like, who's this kid? Oh, Makoko, listen, don't go to the massage parlors right outside Cherry Street. They have a box like a vice grip, but you'll wake up with an STD. You'll get a venereal disease. And he's just this really crazy guy that apes into a bunch of stuff. He knows everything about humans, knows everything about investing, but he's been around the block. He's seen a bunch of stuff, and he's a little messed up. He's kind of like Frank Reynolds from that. So I got to have fun with him because it's just been awesome. I feel like I've been talking way too long. Do you have a character in mind, Mr. Popdog? Do you have a do you have other IP outside of Popdog? Does Popdog like to pee on hydrants? Does he like to dig bones? Tell me about him.
We don't generally have I wouldn't say a character like that, but I mean, if you look at our memes, it's a lot of fun vibes and a lot of like green candles and just like a degen. Um, his mouth opens and closes. That's kind of a unique thing about the Pop Dog and Pop Cat PFP. So, that's one of the reasons Pop Cat went viral. Um, it's a real life cat whose mouth opens and closes, looks like it's popping. And yeah, so no, we don't have like a like you were describing Monkey per se, but I do follow him too. That's a funny character. But yeah, just good vibes.
So if you were like to have be in the cat universe, I could have some fun with it. Now, obviously, there's like Crappy Bird is known for like like crapping on scammers. So we had to make him kind of like this hero, like general, and Space Penguins. It was just a really cool, really fun story, and he loves it. But Monkey, they just had this. You could be debaucherous. I could kind of make it whatever I wanted. But for Pop Dog, what type of character would he be? Would he be a hero? Would he be just a cute little thing that everyone falls in love with, like Jeff the Land Shark from Marvel? What type of character would he be?
Um, well, we do a lot of memes with him being the top dog and also the underdog. So maybe something along the lines of the underdog. Um, you know, underdog, they got to grind
The,
harder. But sorry,
the
what was that?
underdog is still, I was gonna say the underdog that steals Sharby's heart, the Queen of Hearts. Okay, I'm sour.
Yeah, that could that
Oh,
could work.
Mm,
But
greenies.
yeah, in my crypto journey last cycle, I realized the underdogs print harder. My first meme was Safe Moon, and then I got into Safe Mars and Safe Bitcoin and some of the underdogs. And they don't have to flip the market cap of the big guy, but if you pick a winning underdog, it prints hard. And that's kind of how I started in PopCat and still hold PopCat, but went all in on Pop Dog. So we believe this is a winning underdog play, and I think a lot of people do. We also have a lot of PopCat whales as our top holders, so that's kind of exciting. They saw their narrative work, and now they're getting into the underdog. And um, every if you look at our chart, one of the reasons we pump so hard and get these huge green candles, is the PopCat whales. They're in such profit. They rotate when they pump into ours, and we send. We ran it up from a 30K market cap to 21 mil on the last leg up. So since we CTO'd it at 30K way back in early 2023 or late 2023, that's almost a 700x. So definitely some strength in the narrative and just proving that underdogs print. But with the meme coin super cycle projected over the next 4 to 6 months, we're really going to see the power of the underdog, in my opinion.
so I just took a look at it, and you guys have 60,000 in trading volume. Wes over here, thanks for being a member. What value does Pop Cat and Pop Dog bring to the world? So as of right now, well, I know you're talking about value. I'll just go over the volume here real quick. 60K in volume, and on any given day over the last year, 139, 238, 155, 52, 64. So it is a bit less volume as of late, but even as of like June, you had in the six figures of volume per day, and it's not from like any of these crazy. It's you have Ascendex and Radium. So um, can you go in a little bit more about the tokenomics of Pop Dog and inflationary, deflationary? As it stable? What is a little bit more into that would be nice.
Yeah, the tokenomics, it's not deflationary. We, I believe, have a billion supply. Um, and yeah, about exchanges, we funded one exchange. We actually, after our last pump, we were on quite a few exchanges. They just started listing us for free. But what we found was, After that, like I mentioned, the Trump token in January, and a lot of memes went down to their floors. I mean, even the biggest memes, even PopCat went from a 2 billion market cap to 100 million. Um, Bonk, Dog with Hat, all the biggest memes retracted 90%. So what we found was a lot of the smaller memes that were listed by exchanges got delisted because the volume was low. So unfortunately, like I said, we were on more exchanges, but um, we'll be back on them on the next leg up. When we were at our 21 mil market cap, we had for weeks millions in volume organically with no volume bots, and that was the reason that exchanges get attracted. But once memes get their spotlight again, we'll be getting listed on them again now that we already have contacts with quite a few. And yeah, it's wild trading. When we had millions in trading volume for weeks, and we printed a bull flag for many months, almost 6 months, ranging between 20 mil market cap and 10 mil market cap. So it's not like we just pumped and dumped, but over time, unfortunately, we're pretty heavily discounted right now, but it's a good buy-in opportunity. We're sitting just below a million market cap, but if you check our chart, um, over the last 2 years, every time we've hit this million level, it's our bottom, and we always make higher highs. Our early days, we smashed through a million one leg, and then 7 million, then 10 million another leg, and then 21 million the last leg. So, we don't quit. Communities die hard, and we'll regain and make a new all-time high. Like as soon as memes go back up, and as soon as PopCat pumps, that's when people really get interested into this narrative as well.
Look, you have a gold check mark on X. For people that don't know, you have to pay for that. You typically do have to have an underlying business. Can you explain, is there any taxes on like if you go in and buy it, is there like a 10% tax, a 5% tax? How does Popdog make revenue?
So, yeah. So to make revenue, we're pretty much so we're a CTO, and I've funded a large amount of things personally. Myself and some of the other whales have certainly helped. I pay the artists and the raiders every week out of pocket. But I was a marketing major. It takes money to make money. You certainly don't want to be invisible. So I've just been all in on this one, just funding it as well as some other whales because we know the potential and we've seen the growth, and it's a long term play. And if it works out, or when it works out rather, it'll all be worthwhile. But yeah, it's mainly just respecting the chart, and as we go up, take profits and fund things. And that's how we funded the exchanges and lifetime partnerships. And like I said, raiders, artists, and certainly is expensive, but it's part of trying to get to where you want to be. So that's kind of how we fund things.
I like I'm on vacation here. My internet is not the greatest. I missed like the first 30 seconds of that. I'm so sorry. Is there was there a tax on it, and just the basic thing on how to get revenues?
Oh, sorry. No, no tax. So we're a CTO. So, we self fund things. And I was mentioning I pay the artists and the raiders out of pocket every week personally myself. And some of the other whales and community members have helped fund things like that Excendex exchange and our 5K for the coin market cap, and just lots of other lifetime partnerships, because all of our partnerships are lifetime, and believe me, they don't come cheap. But when they tell me a month support or a few tweets, I'm always trying to get a lifetime partnership. It's expensive, but it's the best bang for the buck, since we believe this is going to be a real long term play, multi cycle. So yeah, it's just funded by community members, and mainly whales that just work hard for their bags. I've found in CTOs, people that have a marketing wallet, most people don't donate to it. So it's just, the diehard believers that respect the chart and take profits on the way up to fund things. And I've certainly drained my bank account uh, pushing this, but I believe in it, so it'll all work out.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to believe in something when the people behind it are putting up a lot of their own money for it. I think a Pixie from Ladies on Solana does that. Just I mean, and that's part of like, hey, helping dogs, helping cats, helping animals in general, also ladies. Um, so I kind of just drawn a parallel there. I like have a good amount of that because I believe in her, and for Popdog, again, it's a lot easier to be able to go in and say, yeah, I'm gonna bet on the jockey here. I'm gonna bet on the dev behind Popdog just because of his tenacity and what he's willing to do. Like I said, draining her bank account. Um, that that takes some balls. So I'm a fan. Um, and again, that's for right now. The meme narrative should come back. Honestly, should come back any day now. You've had some crazy volatility, but it seems that NFTs have been going up slightly with the rise of ETH. Have you guys gotten into NFTs or collectibles or anything to help with raising revenue?
No, we haven't got into NFTs. I'm personally, I've been just a trader myself, and I've never owned an NFT. But not knocking on them by any means. I know that a lot of people really are into them, just not myself. We just we're just keeping the narrative simple. I've heard a lot of people say, memes, the utility comes in the content, making people laugh, and the utility is the community. So I kind of follow Murad a lot and hear him saying that. So yeah, we're just a diehard community with a strong narrative and just good hand drawn content. That's kind of where we're at. We haven't dabbled into NFTs yet.
I'm glad to see you said hand-drawn content. Some of the issues that I've been getting with some of the people that are in the comic, like I mean, not like Sharby. We have the artist because Sharby's in the comic as well. Um, but there are some people like, hey, how do we go in and like pay for this? Like, we're paying you to write it. You know, can you draw it as well? And unfortunately, I have no artistic capabilities. So there's like one or two communities that had to go outside and be like, okay, we're going to pay these people to do it, and that's fine. They do a fine job. But for Nike the Pig and daCat and like ladies, like there's been a bunch of these communities that have been able to find within their community people willing to put in that sweat equity. And just to let you know, like a Marvel or DC artist will charge like $400 a page, and when some of these are like the first daCat is like 50 pages, it's like, oh my god, that's insane. But if you find people that are willing to go and put in that sweat equity, that could save you a ton of money on a comic, especially when it's going to be on like the largest digital collectibles company in the world and that platform. And you got a bunch of people showing up here, from Arinzi to Shakihi. I'm mispronouncing all of these. I'm so sorry. Um, but yeah, just having our own artist helps. Do you have a main artist, or do you have like a few of them that say like, okay, you can do this one and you can do this one, etc.?
Yeah, we have quite a few artists actually. One that more specializes in like banners, who made our pin message with all the projects, and then we have a couple that are just really good at memes. And then I have one that's really good at animated video clips. That's obviously the more expensive one, but we have a ton of like, 10, 20-second hand drawn clips. And it's pretty cool seeing the stills in black and white, how she starts them, and then the finished product. But yeah, multiple artists for different things. It's interesting. A little tip to CTOs, if you're looking for artists, how I found a couple of the good ones in the early days was just by having meme contests, and you see who's the best, and whoever wins, I'd reach out to them and see if they wanted to join the team. And that's how we actually found a couple of our artists that have been here long term with us. Just they were in the community and they won the meme contest, and they've their skills have even sharpened since then. But that's a little on our artwork.
That's awesome. And and you don't have to answer, but it's just curious, especially as the dev, as far as the how much supply that you own, percentage wise, if you just give like a ballpark of like, well, 0 to 1% or 1 to 5%, or if you go crazy, like I own 80%, just how much supply you own, and when you might be looking to take some profit, and what, some of those profits might go towards.
Right. So, this is a CTO. The dev dumped on our heads week one at $1 million market cap, and we ranged around like, in the hundreds of thousands for a while before we went all the way down to a 30K, and people are trying to say it was dead. So myself and some of the believers certainly had the opportunity to buy the dips, and it didn't work out in some of the other tokens I was in, but this one surely did. Like I said, we from 30K went to 21 mil, so 700x. So I was pretty convicted, and I bought a lot of the dips with my own money. But I'm not going to be selling anytime soon, and I haven't been. I took some profits at the top and bought back in, but when I let's say I sold 15, 20 mil, I bought back in at 10 mil, 5 mil, never thinking it was going to go, memes were going to go as low as they did. But I'm real respectful of the chart. So aren't the other whales that are still holding, and I got a lot of family and friends into this early, neighbors, and I want the market cap to be high enough that we can all comfortably take our profits without ruining the project. So, you know, in previous cycles, I've round trip bags. I don't sell. I'm like the most diamond handed holder. So, of course, I've round tripped the profits we've made so far, but accumulated more supply, buying a little high and buying back in low. I mean, selling high. And I don't talk about it too much, but if you check on Twitter, our last highlighted message, I actually locked up over 10% of the supply that I purchased with my own funds into a liquidity pool for the lifetime of the project. At When I locked it up at our all-time high, it was worth over $1 million. So I could have dumped that on the chart and been a millionaire. And know most people on Solana G'd over a 2x and a 3x, but I'm the exact opposite. And we were debating whether I should have burned it or locked it in a liquidity, and we voted, lock it in a liquidity pool forever. But that's 10% of the supply that can never be sold again. And I don't know. I guess that should give you an idea of how bullish I am, and if when I plan on selling, not anytime soon.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of discussions with some of the cat peeps and ladies on Soul and a bunch of other, but it's like, hey, here's where I can, like the proper way to do it, like you were saying before, respecting the chart. But things are about to get really crazy. At ETH at an all-time high yesterday before everything like dumped down. Oh my God, Binance is ridiculous with that. Just I think they liquidated like $300 million worth of Bitcoin longs in like 20 minutes. It was an insane attack. It was very beautiful. But at some point, as ETH goes to all-time high, Solana goes to crazy numbers, Cardano, etc. Like we're firmly in phase 2 of the bull run, where ETH is outperforming Bitcoin. You have people saying that ETH is going to flip Bitcoin. And phase 3 is when we have all of like the large caps outperforming everything. They go insane. They do multiple X's. And then once that happens, then you have alt season, where you get memes, you get metaverse narratives, you get NFTs, you get AI, you get insane stuff, and stuff can go 30x overnight and can do like 1,000x in a week. Obviously, you guys have been high before, but a 30x from here, that gets you about 21, 22 million, give or take. That's good. That's great. That's fantastic. But it's not, you've been there before. What happens if this does not a 30x, but like a 300x from here, and you go to not just 20, you go to $250 million. At that point, how do you, like, you're good, like, you should take profits there, and if you don't, we're going to fight, because that you could do a lot of good for yourself and the world with that money. but yeah, what are you doing with those profits? How do you do it? What do you do for yourself? What do you do for the world? What do you do for dogs? Very curious.
Right. No, so that at the market caps you're speaking about, that is when I will be able to take profits and not hurt the chart. And that's the biggest thing with the whales. We're all so convicted that you want the market cap to be really high up so you can get a nice size bag out and just not like I say, hurt the chart. And I didn't sell at 20 mil because I was always so bullish. I thought the next leg up, I think every correction it's going higher. So yeah, I thought, oh, next leg up, we're going to be at 100 mil, and I'll be able to get a nice bag out then and not hurt the charts. But memes took a shitter. But it's just an excellent buy opportunity, in my opinion. But what I would do, probably pay back the loan that I took against my house because I'm a degenerate, and yeah, pay back my loan and pay off my bills and my life savings that I've kind of put all into this. And I don't know, just probably donate some to good causes and some dog charities, rescuing dogs. I think that fits well with our narrative. And I'm not really sure. I don't want. Oh, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost you for like 2 seconds, but you're
Okay.
good now.
Yes, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but mainly just, um, yeah, pay back my loan. That's number one on my to-do list.
I understand. Typically with I know you said you look for lifetime deals. I've never done one of those. I have monthly things. I have multi-month discounts, and then I have one where it's like you can get pay for 8 months up front. You get a year. Like you get that extra 4 months free. A lifetime deal. What does that mean for some people? Does that mean like for the life of their social media? Does it mean for the life of like is it like okay,
Right.
we're capping this
Yeah.
at 10 years?
I got you. So what that means pretty much is the lifetime of the project. Um, like the first person that gave me that idea was two of the other lifetime partnerships we have are with Hello Moon. They're big builders on Solana. They built our website. They built Popcats. And then the other one was the first one that suggested that idea to me was this guy, Dr. DeFi. He was the speaker for Myro. Myro hit about 400 million. It's a dog narrative on Solana, and he would speak at for them at their spaces every day. And I was a big holder in Myro, so I got to know him pretty well. So when I reached out to him, asked him if he wanted to be the co-speaker, I told him I'm the speaker for the project, but he could be a co-speaker. He said he gave me some options, 1 month support or lifetime of the project. And I don't think he knew how long we were going to push for because, a lot of memes don't have that long, don't stick around too long, but he knows now I'm no quitter. And he's going to be, these lifetime projects will, yeah, be supporting us as long as we're pushing. And it'll be good for them too because, a lot of them got involved with us early. So, their communities caught some nice gains as, like I said, we ran it up past 20 mil on the last leg up. So as they stick with us and we make higher market caps, that'll be good for their reputation and following as well. And their communities like to see that we've been pushing for 20 months. We don't give up.
So I'm about to get I own the daCat IP, and I'm about to get a daCat tattoo on Friday. And so I'm obviously in that for life. That's my baby. As far as YouTube goes, or X, because we're streaming to both YouTube and X right now. I do have people that own the YouTube channel, or they own parts of it. This guy named Mr. MC1 owns a little bit of it. This guy named Manu from Definity, he owns a bit of it. I do have a small private partner as well. I so I'm not. I will be here for a while. They will not let me quit. They will force me to do this I feel like Ryan Reynolds, or he's like, they're going to force me to do this till I'm 90. So I definitely want to talk about that. Do you always have it private? I like doing things publicly. Do you want to talk about it publicly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty open, transparent person. If you want to, I can try to answer your questions. What you got, the best I can, of course.
Oh, of course. Like a Hannah Montana in '06, we're gonna get the best of both worlds over here because you'll get. I would love to do a comic for you, and then work with the artist. So you could ask Space Penguins, you could ask Nike the Pig, you could even ask All Dolled Up over there. Like unfortunately for her, it's only in like a page or so in the first comic, but she has such a big part in the second and third comics, and basically going to be in there throughout like all of them. So I had that deal with her, Crappy Bird, and Chaos on the Chains to be in like all of them because they were the first ones. Then after that, I had to, okay, we're gonna have to do a separate one. We'll do a crossover at some point. But I would love to write a comic for y'all after I finish with Monkeys. They're the last ones that I have, and then I have. I'm always in talks with other people to write their comics and stuff, but to write it, and then I would also go in and talk about you because I go live every day, sometimes multiple times a day, and I'm on vacation getting this bread. Mostly, and I don't support like doo-doo projects. Like it's VeVe, the largest digital collectibles platform in the world. It's Definity. They have the rails, and they help institutions get into crypto. They do hundreds of thousands per month. Obviously, Alled Up and Sharby, they work all the time, and I mention them whenever I talk about the comic. I mention all these projects when I talk about it. So you'd get talked about every night whenever I go into spaces. I'd mention you as well. And then there is I'll love with you. There is a small chance, it is small, that in this daCat universe here, like we will get picked up, I think, for an anime next year after it does really well, because my friend Rashid Al Farouk, he's got the largest pop culture event in the world, or not in the world, in the Middle East. It's called SpeedyCon. He already offered to come in and help make me an anime because he knows all of the voice actors and stuff. Now, just because he's doing that doesn't mean it'll be a hit. Like animes are made all the time, and not even some of the good ones. They're like, oh, this is good. Why is nobody watching it? Sometimes they fail. But there is a potentiality for that to happen if daCat goes crazy in the real world. So the other stuff in the universe, like Popdog, like Sharby, like Crappy Bird, etc. But I don't normally, it's like a couple grand a month, and I've never done a lifetime thing. And again, I'll obviously be here for a while. I'm assuming a lifetime thing for a lot of those other guys was well into the five figures, right?
Five figures. That's what, 10? Is that 10 grand?
Yeah.
Yeah, about that ballpark.
Lifetime seems like a long time. So I mean, for a lifetime, I mean, that's a big commitment. And I've done year ones before. We're like, hey, let's do this for a year. Which would be in the five figures in general as well. I feel like a year would be worth a lot. Would you be open to doing something like, I don't know if you ever seen House of Cards, where Frank Underwood and Claire Underwood, they have this deal. Spoilers if y'all haven't seen it. Where it's like, hey, we'll stay married for 7 years, and then after 7 years, we'll see if if it's still a good, if we still flow together, if this partnership still works. And they renewed it for like 20 plus years. So I'm curious if you would do something like that, where it's like, hey, let's try it for a year, where 8 months up front, you get the you get the ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th month for free. And then that includes me putting you in writing a comic for you, and that would include you getting a crossover into the main daCat series. Is that something that might work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to be a part of it. I think I was telling you when we talked previously, just funds are a little tight. I think not just in my project, but in the majority of memes, where everyone's at their bottoms, at their supports, and it'll be more feasible. Like you said, any day now, I think this alt season and meme season's gonna hit. So
Heck
once
yeah.
we start climbing back up and I could take a little profits on the way up to fund things again. I definitely couldn't see myself selling to fund things where we are now. I don't want to go any
Yeah.
lower. I would cringe. I cringe every time I see someone sell at the bottom. I'm like,
You
it's
fool.
so painful. Accumulate dollar cost average at the bottom. Don't sell for fucking peanuts. But yeah, it'll be an easier conversation to have with you once memes start going back up, and then we can do um, what we've always done, funding things, just like I said, on big candles, selling, skimming off the top, when there's big runs. Just very respectful of the chart. That's all.
Yeah, I understand. Let's do I do have a hard stop, a couple minutes. Before we bounce, is there anything that I haven't asked about that you want to make sure the audience knows?
Yeah, I can just say a few more things just about Popdog. Why I'm bullish on it, why I think people might want to get a position. Just a couple things. Besides PopCat, like I'll mention again, it's the biggest cat token in the world. They're on all the biggest exchanges. Uh, Biggest cat token out of any chain. So I feel like this is like the easiest play. I saw, dog with hat, cat with hat broke hundreds of millions, sun dog, sun cat. Just don't overcomplicate things. It's just a simple ticker, pop dog, pop cat. And, a lot of our holders, when they're on deck screener, we've got them because they're searching pop cat. They type in the first few letters, pop, then they see pop dog. Then they look at our chart and they've seen us running it up. They've seen we haven't quit for 20 months. Um, and Murad's predicting PopCat to go to 25 to 30 billion this cycle. He's got a list of 10, 15 tokens, and PopCat's on there. So when they were at a 2 billion market cap, when they were pumping our chart up, they saw PopCat worked and they wanted to get in early on PopDog. We would check all the wallets that come in. A lot of their holders are holding millions in PopCat, and we're buying positions for 100 grand in PopDog. So we had a ton of PopCat whales at the peak, holding over 100 grand in PopDog and millions in PopCat. So when they're at 25, 30 billion, that trend's going to accelerate. So we already know we're programmed to pop with having as much support as we do from them. And secondly, I mean, dogs, they're the strongest memes in crypto. You got Doge, Shib, Dog with Hat, Bonk, Flocky, Nero, all these dogs in the billions. So when the normies come in, they're going to pick the dogs, and everyone wants the degen play. A lot of people, unfortunately, only buy under 100K market cap. They think that's the best way to get that 100x.
Yeah,
But
that's
a
wild.
lot, but yeah, so certainly a lot of people won't buy into PopCat, which has already had its growth into the hundreds of millions and billions, and they're going to look for that degen play. And that's how I found myself in PopDog, and that's how a lot of people do. So when the normies come in, they're going to pick PopDog, in my opinion, and it's got so much upside. With when PopCat's at 20, 30 billion, PopDog's not going to be where it is now, and we're going to smash through that 20 million all-time high we did last leg up. And yeah, there's just no quit here. If you check our chart, every time we touch these lows, we've made new all-time highs. So in my opinion, there's not much downside at the market cap we're at. A whole shitload of upside. And in my opinion, your money's pretty safe. There's not too many projects that have been pushing for 20 months. A lot of them fade away after the first 90% retractment. That's another thing on Murad's list. The project has to overcome multiple 90% retractments to really build the diehard holders. And we've done that many times, leading to new all-time highs. So I'll pretty much just leave it at that. But if you missed PopCat because it went up so goddamn quick to 2 billion and it's going to keep printing, you don't want to be that guy that missed Popdog too. So I'm just trying to let everybody know about this play.
Popdog. All what do you got? Final thoughts?
Thank you for joining. I don't know. I could sit here and tell him how you know, we appreciate you so much, and obviously since it's live, like Randy sticks by his word, so he's just been awesome to work with. So we appreciate you. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think after the weekend here, and I know over at Sharby, if you have that mega space, I would love to join or to come on over and speak on it. I have been so nose to the grindstone. Is that the phrase? Like, I haven't been on a lot of spaces, and but we have so many things happening, and so I'm ready to get out and do some more speaking on Sharby's behalf. So I'd love to join that. And yeah, phenomenal community. I think that is the narrative. You know, these communities that get built organically and they're just homegrown, and you know, you have conviction. It's like this trifecta of those certain things that when it's time, it'll pop off. So thanks for coming.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, Sharby, I'll make a note. I'll definitely get you on the next mega space, and you too as well, Randy, and your cat project. But yeah, Sharby, I've obviously been following you. You've been one of the OG projects that have stuck around, and definitely earned your spot. I know you've been around a very long time, and people notice that. And yeah, we'll be in touch. It was nice chatting it up with you as well.
Heck yeah, let's talk off camera for like 2 minutes before, but we'll end it here. Everyone, thank y'all. We love y'all. Everyone.